this is Cindy Bertram. Thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, we've got a lot of exciting things that have just come up this week. So exciting, including today, okay? Virgin Voyages just brought their new ship over, and she just was docking in New York today. And there's some people on the ship. I was invited, but it's okay, as I said. It's so great to share these wonderful things that are going on in the cruise industry. And what they shared so far looks so fantastic. Of course, Richard Branson was there too, but also, like I said, what they did was, I guess the ship actually arrived yesterday in New York, and one of the professionals I know, he's really fantastic. Charles Sylvia is actually the Vice President of Cruise Lines International Association, and yesterday he said in New York, it was nothing short of brilliant. We had an incredible opportunity to step on board the Virgin Voyages' stunning new ship, the Brilliant Lady, for their first mate day on Brilliant Lady, okay? And then throughout our time on board, her energy, design, and experiences really lit up the day for incredible ways too, and fantastic too. So I guess some people got invited to see the ship yesterday, okay? And she's their brand new ship, of course, and how fun for actually to dock in New York City. I mean, I've seen ships sail on New York City myself too. It's beautiful, it's amazing, but just how fun is that, okay? And of course, I've got some business friends that have been sharing different things as well, but how fun. A bit more about Brilliant Lady, of course, that's Virgin Voyages. That's Richard Branson's cruise line, of course. And I love how they call their guests first mates, okay? Because the funny thing is, with Virgin Voyages, when Richard Branson came up with the idea, he'd never even taken a cruise, okay? His background, of course, he's just a legendary, amazing person, and just so down to earth and wonderful, really cares about his people too, which is great too. But the fun thing is, I know with the Virgin Voyages, I actually see the first ship when she actually was finally coming over to sail out of Port Miami. That was around 2022 maybe. Got postponed, or 2021. I was attending the Sea-Trade Cruise Gold Conference and got invited because it got postponed, but we actually had a chance to be invited to see on the ship before she was going to sail out the next morning. It was amazing, and just to experience it firsthand was amazing. But once again, like I said, the Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady just arrived in New York for her debut cruise, okay, and she arrived earlier in New York on Tuesday, actually, this week, and then she actually is going to do her debut cruise today, September 5th. So some executive friends I know were actually invited yesterday, including Charles Sylvia. He loved it. It was great, too. And Richard Branson mentioned some things, too, which is great, too. He said, he wrote it in a digital blog. He said, after an epic voyage, which, of course, was from Europe, right? After an epic voyage, suddenly the New York skyline came to view. And he said, we climbed to the top of the ship for a prime view as we passed back the Statue of Liberty. I've seen it. It's amazing. And it's just so wonderful. And enjoying our brilliant crew and sailors to be serenaded with a unique New York melody. Frank Sinatra, Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, and Taylor Swift. And of course, the Brilliant Lady, right now, she just departed today on her very first cruise. She's sailing from the Manhattan Cruise Terminal to Bermuda in Canada through October, then to reposition to Miami, which is great. And like I said, they've got their aquatic club, which is great too. Some beautiful pictures I saw that people shared, which is wonderful, okay? But like I said, with Richard Branson on his blog, he just mentioned that their newest ship hit the high seas, of course. And like I said, it was sailing on way to New York. She arrived on Tuesday. And he said after an epic voyage, of course, the New York skyline came up too, which is great too. So what they're doing too is, I know that he, like I said, it's the fourth ship in Virgin Voyages fleet, and he mentioned has learned from the best of our first three ships and made it even better. It's been built to really traverse the Panama Canal and also navigate stunning new landscapes to Alaska. Also, there's a new restaurant on board called Rojo by Razzle Dazzle, run by award-winning chefs Justin Sereno, also Nate Hobart, and you can taste their passion for elevated Spanish food from the first bite. And he said, nothing makes me happier than being sat at a lively dinner table, sharing food and fun with people that I love too. And then he shared more. He said, one of the things I'm most proud of course, with Virgin Voyages, is that every detail is crafted from customer feedback. He said the company is living proof that if you listen to what customers want and use it and rewrite it, you write the playbook, okay? Everything really falls in place. He said, I carry my notebook around the ship and pass on feedback to our crew members. And today it was the ice bath and the spa needing to be a little bit icier, okay? He said it really helps to have the best people in the world working for you, which Virgin Voyages certainly does. From the service team to the happenings cast. Also, the entertainment on board the Brilliant Lady adds another layer of magic to the ship. And he mentioned roughly unmissable new shows on board that match anything in Broadway. Also, their decadent supper club, which turns into comedic murder mysteries to circus, discos, and acrobatic renditions of Romeo and Juliet. And which is great too, and it's just wonderful because once again, even when I was on board, just to see the ship for about 6-7 hours, a couple years ago, it was amazing what they did. And as mentioned, they've got different restaurants. With Virgin Voyages, of course, they don't have main restaurant, early seating, late seating, plus also alternative restaurants. They just have alternative restaurants on their ships, which is great too, so it's wonderful. And once again, too, is, I know they've got, besides our beautiful restaurants, and I ate at one, it's wonderful. On the Scarlet Lady, they mention sparkling entertainment. They've got a rooftop running tracks, mermaid-inspired spas, and it really makes Virgin Voyage so special. And he mentioned he made his way throughout the ship, playing chess, eating ice cream, and drinking lots of tea with crew on board too. And also with ice cream, of course, they've got their place called Lick Me Till, which is their ice cream ice cream place. It was wonderful. The ice cream was fantastic, you know. And he said it just reminded him of how it just was beating his heart too. And he said New York has always been a special place for Virgin, from driving tanks through the Times Square with Virgin Cola to iconic bands playing at Virgin Megastores. Also, as Virgin Voyages entered New York with the Virgin Atlantic planes soaring overhead and Virgin Hotels lighting up Midtown, he said, I couldn't help but wonder, is this a Virgin state of mind? Okay, so once again, today, Virgin Voyages, they just celebrated their fleet and celebrate a moment that will leave a legacy behind, far beyond our ships too. And as we enter New York with our crew and sailors singing as one, it was truly brilliant. But how wonderful. That was his blog that he posted too. So, but how wonderful, because like I said, I know some people actually on board the ship yesterday, and she's sailing out today, of course. And I said for her to be doing these cruises to Bermuda, which is great too, and then she'll be repositioning to Port Miami in October. That's great too. But Charles Sylvia's mentioned too. He's the Senior Vice President of CLIA, the Cruise Lines International Association. He was on board the ship yesterday in New York, okay? And he said, he posted this, he said, yesterday in New York was nothing short of brilliant. Of course, the ship's name, of course, Brilliant Lady, how wonderful. He said, we had the incredible opportunity to step aboard Virgin Voyages' stunning new ship, Brilliant Lady, for first mate day on Brilliant Lady. Throughout our time on board, her energy, design, experiences were really unforgettable. And, of course, the CEO of Virgin Voyages is on board too, Nirmal, and the entire Virgin Voyages team. And he just mentioned he thanked them for welcoming them on board too, and really giving them an exclusive look at the ship. It looks beautiful. And like I said, Brilliant Lady really reflects Virgin Voyages' fresh approach to the cruise experience. He's so grateful to be on board too, with alongside other CLIA North American travel trade members too. But how wonderful! So once again, the Brilliant Lady is now sailing, so please check her out, okay? And she'll be sailing, of course, to Bermuda from New York right now, Manhattan, And then in October, she will be sailing, of course, to down to Port Miami. She'll be sailing on cruises out of Port Miami now, too. So that'll be in the fall, which is great, too. And then I think she'll be sailing out of Alaska in spring of next year, too. So keep in mind, once again, it's so great to share new ships, which is really, really fun. Just always excites me, but you can tell that, too. Okay? Something else, too, is really fun, too, is, of course, now we've got new ships being built like crazy, okay? Another one, of course, anyway, it's Star of the Seas, which just came out earlier this year. That's Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas, and that's the one that also has a chief dog officer on board. Her name is Sailor. We've shared videos of her, too. She's really cute. A golden retriever. She's there to create smiles and fun for their guests, but also the crew members, okay, which is great. And they came up with the idea of having a chief dog officer a couple years ago, and Michael Bailey shared more. He's the president of Royal Caribbean, but the first chief dog officer was actually Rover, okay, and they just have another chief dog officer on Star of the Seas, but also they just they have a new ship coming out, and they just did the festive ceremony, okay, at Mare Turco in Finland, and it's their Legend of the Seas, okay. And like I said, that's they're going to be finishing up her design and the building in the next year, okay? And Legend of Seas continues their state-of-the-art class, icon class ships, of course. And of course, what they did was it's their third icon class ship. The first two, of course, are Icon of Seas, which came out 2 years ago, and then a year and a half ago, and then Star of the Seas just came out this year. As like I said, Legend Seas is their next icon class ship, their third one, and she's going to have a gross registered tonnage of 248,000 tons. It follows Icon Seas, which was delivered in November 2023, and also then Star Seas, which just came out July this year. And they just flew the ship out. Of course, they're still doing the building of the ship too, which is great too. That's going to continue on for the next year. And also, as mentioned, they do have another fourth icon class ship. They haven't really named the ship yet, but that's supposed to be completed in 2027. And right now, Royal Caribbean still has plans to options to build their fifth and sixth icon class ships. What's great too is these ships run on liquefied natural energy efficiency. Okay. Once again, that's really great too, because that's a way to kind of cut down. And also, like I said, with Star Seas, which just came out earlier this year in the summer, what they did was they had astronaut Kelly Giraldi. She was a godmother for their new ship. And of course, I know Legend Seas is going to debut in Europe in 2026. And then we'll be going into a year-round Southern Caribbean service from Port Everglades too. So that's great too. So how fun to learn about new ships coming out too. And it's just exciting too. Another one too is coming out too is we've got a new ship coming out with, I mentioned this before, we've got a new ship coming out with Celebrity Cruises this year, okay? And that's their Excel, and that's their Celebrity Excel ship coming out this fall. And Excel, of course, is spelled XCEL, Celebrity Excel, coming out this year later on. And in her case, that's going to be coming out November 18th this year. And I know that it's their final ship in their Edge class ships too. It's going to have really some new things they're doing too. I think I shared more about that before in a previous episode, but how fun. She's coming out, of course, this year, November 18th. And I think she's going to be christened in Miami, if I'm not correct. I think I'm correct. And also, what's great too is, as mentioned, but something else that Celebrity Cruises is doing too is, I think I mentioned it before, but also they actually are going to be launching River Cruise Line ships. Yes, river cruising, I've not been on one yet myself. I've done the Great Lakes Cruise, which is phenomenal. Victory Cruise Lines, Victory 1, which just came out. I was there on the ship when she was christened. That was back in April. Victory 2 also, sister ship came out too, but also we've got river cruise lines that are grown like in a very good way too. Not just crazy, they're great options too. Great way to really experience Europe, different places too, and I definitely want to do one of those too. But what happened was Celebrity Cruises, they just revealed more about their new River Cruise Line ships too. They finally released some details. It's going to be called Celebrity River Cruises, okay? And they announced some details. They're going to actually have, I think, if I remember correctly, they've got, I believe, 8 or 10 ships. Let me see here too. But like I said, it's going to be their first going to be starting in 2027, okay? And they've also got, yeah, fleet of 10 ships coming out too, starting 2027. But you can actually get reservations right now. Actually get something booked, and with I think a $500 deposit, but it's refundable. Once again, too, is they just made some announcements, okay, about their Celebrity River Cruises. They released some details, including the names of the first 2 ships. The first ship will be the Celebrity Compass, and the second ship is going to be the Celebrity Seeker, and they're kind of modeled after the Celebrity Edge series too. What's great too is they're going to feature an open deck, giving passengers uninterrupted 360-degree views with an infinity edge plunge pool, which I think is kind of fun. Also, they mentioned some things too about these 2 ships, the first 2 ships. I know they got people can dine at their Magic Edge, which Celebrity says it's the first cantilever dining pod, which I think is kind of fun too. There are going to be 8 bars and restaurants on board, including ones for people who've already cruised on the ocean with Celebrity, their Martini Bar, their Sunset Bar, and their Cafe Debaccio too. They got food options available 24/7. Celebrity River Cruises will debut with 33 7-night sailings on the Rhine and Danube rivers. Pre- and post-cruise stays can be in early 2026, including in Prague and Budapest. And the staterooms will have king-size beds in every room, balconies, complimentary minibar, and also destination-inspired amenities. And the rooms will feature the most in-room amenities compared to the other cruise lines too. And there will be 5 stateroom categories too. Also, this is really fun too. Suite guests will have onboard, on-demand butlers who they can connect with through a chat service too. So you have a butler. That's for the suite guests. They'll also have access to exclusive dining room, room service, happy hour, complimentary laundry services, and then those sailing in the suites will also have a first dib at the excursions too. Also, they mentioned some suites actually will have a separate living room and ceiling window for better natural light too. Also, these ships will be equipped with the hybrid propulsion system, waste management system, advanced technology to reduce noise and vibration. Also, Celebrity said that the vessel will have a patent-pending design, and they'll share more too. Also, people that are actually part of Celebrity Cruises Captain's Club, as far as the loyalty tiers themselves, they'll expand to river cruising too. So it's great too, because once again, if you're a member of Celebrity Cruises Captain's Club, you get the same tier once you book yourself on a Celebrity River Cruise too, which is great too. So keep that in mind too. As mentioned, they just opened priority booking access Wednesday this week, which allows people, guests, to pay a refundable $500 deposit to book their cruise before 2027, and then iTunes will be open up to the general public too. Something else that they shared too about this, which is really exciting too. I mean, I know people that love taking river cruises. They seem so beautiful. Plus, you can go into smaller areas, which is beautiful too. And it's just growing like crazy. I mean, I think river cruising sounds phenomenal. Definitely want to try and do that one too. So what's mentioned too is that they just mentioned the names today of the cruise line, the cruise ships: Celebrity Compass, Celebrity Seeker. Celebrity River Cruises, of course, they want to bring a new level of elevated design too with their new ocean ships to the river too. And once again too is mentioned, of course, the bookings are now available too. And it's really great because once again too is with Royal Caribbean Group, the thing is they have never really gotten into river cruising itself too. So this is their debut, which is great. So once again, this is their debut into river cruising, which is great. And I know that, as mentioned, they've got As far as dining, of course, they're going to have a total of 8 restaurants, I think I mentioned, in bars, ranging from celebrity guest favorites, including the Martini Bar, Sunset Bar, and the Cafe El Bacio. Also complimentary breakfast room service, and also different meal options too. And I know that they mentioned too that they have 5 different stateroom categories too. And also, as mentioned, her itineraries, she's going to highlight, her highlights are going to include 33 7-night itineraries along the Rhine and Danube rivers, including the likes of Budapest, the Washu Valley, and also Prague via pre- and post-cruise extensions, okay? And what's great too is, when they decided to come up with the idea of the Slave River Cruises, Jason Liberty, who's the CEO of the whole working groups, mentioned that about half of the company's guests have experienced or really intend to experience a river cruise. So that's what really prompted them to really introduce their own elevated option too. And he said, by leveraging our valuable loyalty programs across our 3 brands, we will deepen the customer engagement, and also further our ability to really keep guests within our ecosystem of vacation offerings too, which is great too. And it's really great what they're doing too. So once again, like I said, they are going to have, of course, ways for people to really experience this beautiful option too. And once again, they are taking reservations right now, so definitely keep it in mind, because it looks like a phenomenal thing to really experience too. And there are so many options there too. But once again, it's a great way to really see Europe, different places, because once again, the ship, so to speak, is your floating hotel, which is great, but also with the river cruising, the ships are smaller. They actually dock into smaller areas too. And once again, what I like about river cruising, especially over in Europe, the other place to do river cruising too, but also in Europe, what's great too is you go to different small places, they can stay longer, which is great too, but also it's a great way to really see Europe rather than just taking maybe a European tour itself, instead of doing just a vacation over in Europe. If you want to see different places, you have to go from different cities, and in this case, with the river cruising, your ship is your floating hotel. So I think that's kind of fun. So definitely keep in mind, because I think that's kind of fun too. So keep in mind, because river cruising is growing in a very, very good way too. And also just excited that river cruising is now starting with Royal Caribbean Group with Celebrity Cruises and their Celebrity River Cruises, which is great too. Also, something else too is, with cruise lines, they have different beverage packages too. You can actually get a beverage package in advance, get little perks too. But something that just came up too is with Carnival Cruise Line, they just announced something new. They got a brand new non-alcoholic drink package. It's called Cheers Zero Proof. Cheers Zero Proof is their new non-alcoholic drink package. How fun. I like that name, okay? Cheers Zero Proof, right? They just announced it. What they're doing is it bundles a variety and value too, and they just announced it actually yesterday. It's their new non-alcoholic beverage package called Cheers Zero Proof, and it bundles a wide variety of premium alcohol-free refreshment options, from handcrafted zero-proof cocktails, alcohol-free sparkling wine, also engaging coffee creations, smoothies, and sodas. Cheers Zero Proof is really designed to deliver the best variety and value and experience for any premium non-alcoholic drink packages at sea. And Christy Duffy, the president of Carnival Cruise Line, mentioned Cheers Zero Proof is a direct response to what we've actually been hearing from our guests who want a comprehensive non-alcoholic drink package when they cruise. This new drink package brings together the abundance of our alcohol-free refreshments with the flexibility and ease that our guests already enjoy with other beverage packages too. And she said that it's really a perfect fit for guests who are interested in an alternative to our terrific Cheers package with additional variety compared to their bottomless bubbles soda package too. So what they're doing is guests who actually decide to purchase this new Cheers Zero Proof package, they will enjoy sodas, and with Carnival Cruise Lines, they now have Coca-Cola products on board, okay? That includes sodas, Coca-Cola products, juices, bottled water, still and sparkling, and coconut water. Also premium coffees and teas. They got zero proof cocktails, which are non-alcoholic. They've got alcoholic-free beer, okay? Another one is alcohol-free sparkling wine, frozen drinks, non-alcoholic too, plus smoothies and also bottled protein shakes and milkshakes, also energy drinks. But how fun, I love the name too, Zero Proof, how funny, cheers, Zero Proof. Something else that they mentioned too is it's now available for pre-cruise purchases online. Also, the package is going to be available for onboard purchase in the coming weeks too, because they just announced it too. So once again, as with their existing ring packages, the Cheers Zero Proof package applies the full length of the cruise, and it's intended for individuals use on board, okay? And it's kind of fun that they're doing this too, because they just announced it, but how fun, okay? And then something else too is as far as more about new cruise ships coming out too. What's really fun too is we've got another one coming out later this year, I believe. It might be folding up next year, but it's the Star Seeker. That's Windstar Cruises. She's going to be doing, her inaugural sail is going to be December 28th. That's going to be a 17-day transatlantic from Malaga to Miami. And then main scene is going to be in the Caribbean, then Alaska, Japan. Okay. And Star Seeker is actually part of Windstar Cruises, which is great. Also, they've got coming up next year in April will be the Norwegian Luna. That's Norwegian Cruise Line's new ship. And then, of course, another one that really excites me too is called Four Seasons. And Four Seasons has their Four Seasons 1 coming out next year. I think it got delayed until maybe, I believe, in March next year. Got delayed a bit from January. But anyway, she's going to be offering 7-night Lesser Antilles cruises, including stops in Antigua and St. Lucia, from Barbados to Aruba. And her main scene is going to be the Caribbean also. That's the one that's got the really, really fantastic captain. The captain on board that for Four Seasons 1 is going to be Captain Kate McHugh. She's an amazing captain, so beautiful, and she worked for different cruise lines and then became the first woman American captain of a cruise line ship with Celebrity Cruises about 10, 12 years ago. But really great person. I met her on board. And then she was with Celebrity Cruises for several years, I think 10 years. And like last year she decided to step down because her cat passed away. Her cat was in the bridge with her. Great fun and happiness too. And she did fun things with her cat. Her cat's name was called Bug, but Bug passed away unexpectedly. She decided to take some time off. I think in January is when she decided to leave, just retire, take some time off. But anyway, what they did was they actually enticed her to come back. And she is now going to be Captain Four Seasons 1 coming out next year. And I actually saw her briefly earlier in April at Sea Terry Cruise Global Conference. And she was walking into the main session. And I said hello to her. She said hello to me. She said, I'm going to meet my crew right now. But she's an amazing person. And just a beautiful person. Very effervescent. Big in social media. Just look up Captain Kate McHugh. Kate McHugh. She's great. And how excited for her to come back and actually be Captain of Four Seasons 1 coming out next year. I believe it's in March next year. So how fun too. And as mentioned, that's Four Seasons' first ship. Also, the second Four Seasons yacht is going to come out. They haven't revealed when. They've got 2 ships coming out next year, 2026. But Four Seasons' second ship coming out next year, sometime after their Four Seasons 1 comes out in March. That's coming out next year too. And also, we've got another ship coming out. I mentioned Legend of the Seas. That's coming out actually in July next year, and they just did that ceremony too. They're still really working the ship right now, but Legend of the Seas, Royal Caribbean ship, is going to be their Icon class ship too, but she's coming out next year in July 2026. She'll be sailing, of course, summertime in Mediterranean, then flying year-round Western and Southern Caribbean cruises. That Icon class ship, of course, and maybe Legend of the Seas might have another chief dog officer on board too. I think she will, because once again, the videos that we shared before with Chief Dog Officer Rover and also with Chief Dog Officer Sailor, who just became the Chief Dog Officer in Star Seas back in July this year. So cute. And like I said, Michael Bailey shared more about this too. Once again, they were built really, coming up with the idea for having a Chief Dog Officer was really bring happiness and joy to people, also their crew members, because once again, who doesn't love dogs? I do. I love them like crazy. Once again, too, is where the crew members work so hard. It's a great way for people to really experience interaction like that too, of course. And the thing is, with their chief dog officers, Sailor and Rover, they're not actually driving the ship with their forepaws, right? But they're wonderful, so cute. They're golden retrievers, fully trained, whatever. And of course, it's great because once again, too, is they're there to create fun, happiness, and smiles to people, including their guests on board, of course, too, and also their crew members, too. So keep that in mind because once again, Legend Seas, which is their third Icon class ship, is coming out next year in July. So I'm sure she will probably have another chief dock officer on board too. And when I find out more, I will definitely share it with you. Okay? How fun. Also, we've got Explorer 3s. Okay, Explorer Journeys is a really fantastic cruise line. I've written about them. They are part of the MSC group, but they're a luxury cruise line. And they bring the ocean life to sea, which is great too. Explorer 1 is already out, and then Explorer 2 came out, of course, and now Explorer 3, their third ship, is coming out August next year. What's great too is it's really luxury. What's great too is, as far as guest capacity, they just accommodate 926 guests. Her inaugural sail is going to be taking place on August 3rd next year, 7-night Barcelona to Lisbon. And then during her maiden season, she'll be going to the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, Greenland, Iceland, and also East Coast USA and Caribbean too, which is great. So that's great too. And of course, later on, 2027, Explorer Journeys will have their next ships, Explorer 4, 5, and 6. And those are going to be coming out in 2027 and also 2028. They haven't released, of course, when they're going to be sailing, of course. Their normal sails not yet too. Once again, too, is think about if you're looking for luxury, smaller ships, high-end luxury, and just bring that life to sea, which is great too. Ocean life to sea. Think about Explorer Journeys, because once again, it's just beautiful. I've written about them. The ships are gorgeous. And Explorer 3 is coming out next year in August 2026. Okay. Some other things about new ships too is we've got, of course, several coming out in 2027. Yes, they build them far out too, because it takes a while to build the ships. But I know they mentioned they've got Norwegian Cruise Line is going to have more ships coming out. Their 5th and 6th Norwegian Prima ships are coming out. One in 2027 and one in 2028. And what's nice too, as far as guest capacity with these new Prima ships, they're going to accommodate 3,550 guests, which is great too. And they got, I think, 35 different cabin categories. Also, another cruise line coming out with a new ship, which is really fun too, is I love this one. It's called the Carnival Festival. And she's coming out in 2027. And they haven't really released where she's going to be sailing from too, but once again, they're just working the ships too right now because it takes a while to build the ships too. Of course, another one is going to be with MSC Cruises. They just launched their World America ship earlier this year. It was another christening cruise. It was amazing. But they've got their MSC World Atlantic coming out 2027. And it's going to be sailing the Caribbean. Not much more details yet too, but it's great too. And then another ship coming out in 2028 with Carnival is going to be the Carnival Tropical. And that's coming out 2028. And that's kind of fun too. And of course, I know that Celebrity Cruises, of course, besides moving into their new river cruising, they've got another Edge class ship coming out 2028. That's going to be their 6th Edge class ship. They haven't named the ship yet, but that's good too. So great, because once again, we've got more ships coming out, and it's great to have so many choices out too. I just think it's really exciting that with Celebrity Cruises, they're doing Celebrity River cruises too. It's really building excitement because once again, too, is they're taking what they've been doing at Celebrity Cruises anyway and reinventing it also with with river cruising. And the good thing is they actually have planned to launch 10 ships in their fleet, okay, beginning in 2027. And as mentioned, they just named the two ships. The first two ships, the first one is going to be called Celebrity Compass, second ship Celebrity Seeker, and they're going to be coming out in 2027 too. It's great too. So once again, it's really kind of fun to see that cruise lines are really kind of diversifying different things too. And with river cruising, you've got smaller ships, you can go to intimate places, and as mentioned, European river cruising is fantastic. But once again, too, is they go different places too. Another good example too is with AMA Waterways. What they did is they started river cruising their own ships about 23 years ago, and what they did too was they just actually launched earlier this year in the spring, late spring, their first ship that sails on the Magdalena River in South America. They have their second ship, I don't think that's open yet, but their first ship just started sailing on the Magdalena River in South America. It looks fantastic. They go different small places, which is great too, and it's been very, very successful for them too, so keep in mind too, because once again, there aren't any other cruise lines that actually do cruising on the Magdalena River in South America. So definitely keep this in mind, because it's just another way to kind of experience different places too. Once again, the ship is your floating hotel, and with these smaller with going on river cruising too, the ships are very, very small too, which is great too. So it's more intimate experiences too, and just diverse. So definitely keep in mind too, because it's just wonderful as far as what's coming out, of course, right now too, because once again, they're not stopping, which is great too. And another ship that just came out in July this year was actually Viking Cruises. The Viking Vesta just came out in July this year, and once again, continues their destination-focused voyages too, intimate cruising, and they got to focus on their culture, environment, enrichment, also Scandinavian design too. And of course, Oceania Cruises this summer launched their Oceania Allura, which debuted on July 18th this year, and her passenger capacity is just 1,200 guests too, which is great. And Allura is our second Allura-based ship in Oceania Cruises, so that just came out, of course, too, in July this year. Also, I know that we've got with Ritz-Carlton their yacht collection. They also debuted their new ship too back in July. It was called the Luminera, and that debuted on July 3rd of this year, and it's the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection. And as mentioned, that was their newest addition to the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection too, and it features 149 all-suite accommodations with private terraces, elevated dining experiences, and created itineraries too. So keep in mind too, that just came out, of course, in July too. And it's just really exciting to see what the Celebrity Xcel is going to be offering, of course, when she debuts this November 18th. And with the Celebrity Xcel, it's got the passenger capacity of actually just 2,918 guests. And the Celebrity Xcel is their final ship in their Edge class ships too, which is great. So once again, keep in mind too. Also, Disney, of course, has got their new Disney Destiny coming out. I think it's still going to be coming out in November 20th this year, but how fun too. And passenger capacity is just 4,000 guests. It's their third ship in their Disney's Triton class ships that will include immersive experiences that are themed around Marvel superheroes too, including unique dining and also entertainment options, which is great too. And of course, they've got their Disney Adventure. That's supposed to be scheduled to come out on December 27th this year, I think. And it's part of their originally part of their global class ships, so it's been acquired and reimagined too. So I'll keep you posted on that too, which is great too. But how fun to have different ships coming out too, and just so exciting too. And also, like I said, it's kind of fun what they're doing as far as river cruising, growing with Celebrity River Cruises, which is fun too. And what's great too is we've got new ships still coming out this year, plus new ships coming out next year, of course. I think it's really exciting to see what Four Seasons Yacht is doing with their Four Seasons 1. And, of course, what I think is really exciting is they've got Captain Kate McHugh. be captain of Four Seasons 1. She's an amazing person. So it'd be great to learn about that too. And they got the Four Seasons 2 coming out later on this next year too. So, which is great. But just exciting too, and just new ships coming out. Like I said, just so fun to see how ships are built and what they're doing too, as far as sustainability too. Going to liquefied natural gas. Of course, cruise lines, what they do too is they recycle food, which is great. They eliminated plastic straws a long time ago because they're really focusing on sustainability right now more than ever. And liquefied natural gas is one. Also, another option too I've mentioned before is actually cruise lines that show power too. It's great too.
Hey, Cindy, I saw something that might be of interest to our listeners and everything like that, and then we can wrap up with the dogs and everything like that. But
Okay.
apparently, there are football cruises because this is football season, and it refers to themed vacations that focus on American football, such as watching games live on large screens, attending fan parties with players or locals, or participating in football-related activities. So while some cruises are a general NFL fan cruise with themed events, others are specific to a team or a team's alumni and may include things like a coach's clinic or multi-day itineraries. So they would say that there are game day cruises. These are short localized events on a boat or yacht where fans watch a live game on a large screen with food and drinks. Themed fan cruises. These are multi-day cruises that often involve players and legends, offering various activities such as players Q&A, autograph sessions, fan parties, and themed deck parties with food and drinks, according to Cruisables and SeasideEvents.net. And there's team or alumni cruises. These are specialized cruises that are for fans of a particular team or alumni. Like
Right.
one that they got a Viking cruise, since I'm a Vikings fan, featuring specific players or coaches. And then they've got coaches and family cruises. These are more educational events where football coaches can attend clinics to learn new strategies and connect with other coaches with family-friendly activities and entertainment options. So they did say that there's like live game viewing. Games are often shown on big screen TVs in sports bars and on cabin TVs or even outdoor movie screens, according to Cruisely.com and Crucible. And there's the meets and greets where fans can meet with players or coaches for autographs, Q&A sessions, and photo opportunities. And of course, there are football themed parties, trivia, and social gatherings that are often scheduled on board to create a celebratory event. So it looks like there's a lot of stuff that is going on for the sports fans. That even sports fans can enjoy standard cruise activities like right down the walls, basketball courts, and mini golf on ships with sports facilities. And of course, there's all that great food and everything like that. So they were saying you can go to websites like Cruisable and Iglo Cruise that provide information on sport themes, cruises, and the type of amenities that they offer. And even there's something called, like, if you're a Steelers fan, and I'm not one, but I have fans that are, there's something called Steelers Fan Cruise. And FB Coach Simpson offers cruises for specific teams and for coaches, respectively. So there's even one, apparently there was one for the 1991 Washington football champions and everything like that. So that's one that I saw just in there around the DC area. So if whatever your team is, you might be able to find a cruise that is centered around that. And that also goes for college ball as well, because the college season has started
Yeah.
also. So there are some of these cruises that are evolving around that. In fact, City Experience said that it was the 1991 Washington football champions, and they had a cruise. It wasn't that bad. It was like $80 and everything, and it included Mark Rippey and Gary Clark and Chip Lowmiller, who were some of the players on that particular team and everything like that. So apparently, there's some cruises that are NFL. Matter of fact, one of the articles earlier, that would have been last year, in 2024, said the four best cruise lines for NFL football were Princess Cruises, Disney Cruise Line, Royal Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean International, and Norwegian Cruise Line. So hey, you can go out there and go to hang out with your favorite teams, and even one for the Raiders.
Right, but also fun thing too is they got sports bars on cruise
Right.
lines, and you can go see football games. See games right there in their sport lounge. It's really great. Just so many different things to do on board cruise ships,
Yep.
and it's just amazing
Yeah.
what they do too.
It is amazing. And I'm
The
seeing some
options
of
it
them that are
is.
interesting, like Buffalo, which I think has got a game coming up this weekend and everything. They've got the Buffalo Football Legends Cruise, which will be in 2026. It'll be May 10th through the 17th, and Thurman Thomas, Steve Tasker, Scott Norwood, Fred Jackson, Butch Roll, and other special guests will be there at that particular cruise. So that's when it's taking place in May of 2026. So if you're a Buffalo fan, that's another opportunity to go and hang out with players that are for your team. And I'm sure that, like I said, there are others. I did mention the one for the Steelers. I'm sure there's one for the various teams, including the Bears and a number of other ones as well. So there's a lot of those that are done, like even on those river cruises or other things. So I know we want to get out of here, Frank. So I'm going to bring up the dogs and everything like that. But I just thought that since it's football season, I'd mention that, hey, you can have the two together.
Football season just started. Come on.
Yes, exactly.
And go Bears.
Don't know about that. They're playing my Vikings. They're playing my Vikings this Monday. My brother is a Bears fan, so we will not be talking on Monday. I'll see whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood, even with you and everything like that. So we'll see how it all plays out and all in that way, since you are a Bears fan as well. But if they lose, they lose. But it's a long season. I did watch the game yesterday. Even it had the spitting contest between Dax and one of the defensive players, but the defending champion Philadelphia did win that game. It was a good game. It was 24-20, and I think the other team that was in the Super Bowl, Kansas City, is playing this evening. I think they're playing the Chargers. So there's a bunch of games going on and everything like that. I'm not that far from UNC, and Bill Belichick won a lot of championships in college. In the pros, he did not do good in his first game. TCU basically spanked them. It was not a good game. It was not close at all.
Yeah, how fun though too. Just it's good to see different sports season come up too. And like I said, the good thing is on cruise ships, they've got sports bars, big screens. You can watch games right there, which is great too.
Right.
Phenomenal. All the beautiful options to really pick and choose what you want to do on board the ship. It's not just one size fits everybody. Just they got different fun things to do, which is great too. And also what's great too is years ago, Prince Cruise was the first one that actually had their outdoor screens for movies at night.
Okay.
It was wonderful. I mean, the fun thing is, I was sailing Prince Cruises, and what happened was they just launched it a long time ago. But the thing is, when we were sailing out, of course, they had movies you could actually go see. Of course, complimented big screens outside by the pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they gave you blankets to use too, just in case, for your free popcorn. Okay.
Yep.
And then during the day, they showed movies too. And guess what movie I saw on board the ship during the day one afternoon?
What did you see? The Love Boat?
Nope. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I saw Pirates of the Caribbean movie on board the ship.
On the Caribbean, probably.
And the good thing is, we didn't run into any pirates either. It was great.
Nope.
It's so funny to watch that movie on board a cruise ship. How fun,
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It
Cool.
was, yes.
On that note, we're going to go check out Rover and his buddy and everything like that. Sailor, Rover, and Sailor. Girls.
Sailor
So we're going to check out the girls of Rover and Sailor. So let's check out this, and we'll get out of here after this particular announcement from that particular cruise line. So let's check out Rover and Sailor.
Yes, great. Thank you.
As we're designing the best family vacation, there was one piece that was missing, which is, of course, the family dogs. And when guests go on vacation, one of the key things that they miss are their pets back home. And when our crew are sailing on board for their contracts, one of the things they miss are their pets back at home. And so we really wanted to make sure we brought a fluffy addition to our crew family. We went and got Rover, and here we are now for Star. We're picking up Sailor, and Sailor will be living on Star of the Seas.
Well, the Chief Dog Officer was an idea that we created actually when we were developing and concepting the Ultimate Family Townhouse. We were all sitting around saying, when you think about the Ultimate Family Townhouse, what does that mean? And all these ideas came around, and somebody threw out the idea of having a family dog. And we said, well, it feels a little selfish to have a family dog for just one family. Why don't we have a family dog for the family on board the ship? And so that's how the position evolved, and we thought, well, obviously it's a very important position, and of course all important positions on ships are called chief, so we thought Chief Dog Officer is perfect.
When we first came up with the idea for Project Rover or Project Sailor, we realized we don't really know a lot about what it means to take care of a dog on a cruise ship. And so we partnered with some of the most well-respected animal well-being certifiers globally to really help us create this program from the ground up and make sure that when Rover and Sailor are on board, they're having the best day every day.
So there's a very well-written, crafted position description that, of course, the Chief Dog Officer can't read. The key mission is to have fun, and that's exactly what Rover and Sailor do. They just have fun.
So Sailor is very small. She's about 16 weeks. And so when Sailor gets on board, she's going to, take everyone's breath away. Sailor's life on Star will be full of adventure. She and her chief dog officer role really means that she gets to go and explore the ship, go and explore our private destinations with our crew members, really just being that warm, welcoming family for her.
Oh, I just totally fell in love with Sailor. I fell in love with Rover as well, but I also fell in love with Sailor. She's so beautiful and loving and funny, and so I just completely fell in love. When we were thinking about the idea, one of the questions was, well, what will the crew think? Will the crew like the idea or not? And so one of the team members had a golden retriever and volunteered to bring the golden retriever down to one of our ships on a turnaround day, and we fitted the dog with a GoPro camera. It was very touching because after when we watched the video, so many crew stopped and hugged the dog and talked to the dog. When we saw that, we thought, wow, this is amazing. People miss their own family dogs.
And as we've done with Rover, as we're doing with Sailor, we really want to make sure we're focused on what's best for these animals. And really right now our focus is on Sailor and making sure that she is having the best life at sea when she gets on Star of the Seas in August.